Welcome everyone to the solution video for test 1. Now before we begin, I want to advise you generally to attack the SATs as an opportunity to showcase your skills rather than dread it as an obstacle for failure. The importance of approaching this exam and any challenge in life for that matter with a healthy mindset is underestimated. So during study sessions, it is important to stay calm yet focused because panic and frustration interfere with brain activity. I'm very confident that if you do all the practice exams, watch my solution reviews, and use my question category charts to identify and study the question type templates for your weaknesses, you will see drastic improvements in your scores. Also, before watching any of my solution videos, it is important to do the respective practice test on your own first, because it is just as important to simulate test-taking conditions as it is to learn the solutions. Lastly, since I will not be reading every line in the passage for these solution videos, it is important that you do the exams on your own first so that you are familiar enough with the passages to fully understand my explanations. Also, here's a quick glance at the new SAT scaled scoring chart. The maximum raw score you can get on the writing and language multiple choice section is 44, which translates to a scaled score of 40. However, College Board multiplies your scaled score by 10 to give you your final scaled score. So 400 is the maximum final scaled score you can receive on this section. Without further ado, let's take a look at our first passage. Okay, so let's go on to number 1 of practice set 1 of this video solution review. NASA is a US government agency whose budget is frequently many times contested. Now, we can apply step 1 of the redundancy template reviewed in our sample video by recognizing that the underlined portion is descriptive and then checking for any preceding words that already imply many times. Clearly, the word directly in front of our underlined phrase, frequently, already implies that if something is done frequently, it's done many times, oftentimes, and repeatedly. So all choices are redundant, and we can simply delete the underlined portion, which is choice D. Going on to number 2. In truth, the agency has a widespread positive effect on society by serving as a catalyst for innovation and scientific understanding. This is a question on commonly confused expressions. So the general rule of thumb is that affect is primarily used as a verb that means to influence, and effect is primarily used as a noun that means result or consequence. So structurally, you need a noun here. You say the agency has a noun. You cannot insert a verb like affect here because you do not say NASA has a verb. You say NASA has a noun, like effect. Now, there is an exception that allows affect to be used as a noun, but affect as a noun means feeling, emotion, or some kind of emotional response. And it does not make any sense that NASA has a widespread positive emotion on society. So from the context, we can discount any possibilities of affect being used as a noun here and therefore eliminate choices B and C. Moreover, plural affects in choice C does not agree with the singular article A over here. Now, has or have an effect on is a set expression that means the verb affect. So we can substitute affect for this set expression and reread the sentence as in truth, The agency affects society. And this contextually makes perfect sense and confirms choice A as our correct answer. Now, you do not say has or have an effect to something. In other words, something has an effect or consequence on something, but not to something. So choice D is incorrect. So, effect is always used as a noun in the form of the effect is this, the effects are that, or in one of two possible set expressions. So for the set expression used in this question, which we just discussed, effect combines with other words has or have an effect on to collectively mean the verb affect or to influence. But effect can also be used as a verb on its own in the set expression to effect changes or solutions. As a verb, effect means to bring about or create. Therefore, this second set expression would state to bring about or create changes or solutions. So in summary, effect in general is a noun and affect is a verb. The exceptions use effect as a verb and affect as a noun with very specific meanings, and effect is used in two set expressions that also have very specific meanings as shown here, one of which is used in this question. Number 3. The agency has a positive effect on society by serving as a catalyst for innovation and scientific understanding to create jobs and showing humanity its place within the universe. This question is clearly one on parallel structure, as the underlined portion is part of a list and the list contains a conjunction, two common indicators of parallel structure question types as discussed in the sample lecture systematic template. So we reduce the question by eliminating non-essential parts. As a catalyst is an object, for innovation and scientific understanding is a prepositional phrase. Humanity, its place, is an object. Within the universe is a prepositional phrase. Now we reduce those non-essential parts and reread the sentence. In truth, the agency has a widespread positive effect on society by serving, blank, and showing. Clearly, we need another ing verb in this list of two other ing verbs, or gerunds, and choice B is the only answer choice that offers that gerund, creating. Our original choice is incorrect since it has an infinitive in between two gerunds. An infinitive is the word to plus any base verb like create. Number 4 now. But by initiating and collaborating on projects such as the Apollo moon missions, the Space Shuttle program, the Hubble Space Telescope, and unmanned planetary exploration, NASA has continually challenged its scientists and engineers to do things that were previously thought impossible. This is a question on punctuations near our conjunction and. And is used as a conjunction to close this list, and you always precede the conjunction with a comma. All the other choices are never correct, irrespective of the surrounding structure. Number 5. All along, these NASA projects have greatly increased international cooperation. Question asks, which choice most effectively sets up the list of examples that follows in the next sentence? So that's a direct clue that your answer depends on the next sentence. What kind of list is mentioned in the next sentence? A short list of inventions. That's all we have to read. which answer choice relates to a short list of inventions? Well, new technology in choice C is the same thing as inventions, while other choices have nothing relatable to inventions. So choice C is our correct answer. Number 6. A short list of inventions elaborated by NASA includes communication satellites, invisible braces, and cordless tools. We recognize this as a diction question from step 1 of our diction template in our sample video lecture. A. This question has a single word underlined portion. B. It has answer choices with same parts of speech. And not only do our answer choices have same parts of speech, but also even their tenses are consistently simple past. All connotations are sort of positive here, so connotation doesn't help. Word strength is consistent across choices as well. In relating definition detail to usage, inventions is the key word here because the action is done to inventions. So we ask ourselves, are inventions elaborated, evolved, progressed, or developed by NASA? And we know inventions are developed by NASA because 2 sentences ago it says NASA has continually challenged its scientists and engineers to do things that were previously thought impossible. If you do things that were previously thought impossible, you're developing inventions. Choice D is our correct answer. Number 7 now. All these inventions spawns new industries, and with those industries, jobs. This is a question on using appropriate verb tense. Since jobs are already formed by these new industries, the inventions already spawned these new industries. If the new industries are yet to be spawned, the new industries would not have been able to subsequently create jobs. In the original sentence, it sounds like all these inventions spawns new industries and jobs today, like as if it's present tense. Well, the phrase "and with those industries, jobs" implies that industries led to jobs. So the spawning of new industries must have been completed before jobs were spawned. Therefore, we have to use past tense, spawned new industries, and with those industries, jobs. Has spawned in choice D is present perfect tense, which has 3 usages. 1. An action finished at an unspecified time. 2. An action that just recently completed. And 3. An action that began in the past and continues into the present. Obviously, new industries spawned way before recently, so the spawn action did not just recently finish, nor is it continuing into the present. So usages 2 and 3 are clearly incorrect. And usage 1, which is to describe a completed action at an unspecified time, is incorrect also, because the action spawned completed at a specified time, namely before the jobs spawned. So because the context of this sentence indicates that the end of the spawn action is important in that it ended before jobs spawned, we cannot use present perfect choice D here, since present perfect is only concerned about the result of the action, not the timing of the action's completion. And we will be going over all 16 English tenses in great detail in our 4th practice exam, so stay tuned for that because I have compiled some very thorough and well-organized charts for tenses, not only outlining all the different tense usages, but also comparing pretty much all the commonly confused tenses. Number 8 now. More than 60% of the contribution coming from commercial goods and services created by companies using space-related technology. This question tests whether you know the difference between verbs and other common forms of verbs. verbs are sometimes used in non-verb forms like infinitives, present and past participles, and gerunds. Choice A is incorrect as we have a standalone present participle with no linking verb and therefore no verb in the sentence. Which came in choice B is a structure that describes contribution, not its action. To come in choice C is an infinitive and therefore not a verb either. Came in choice D is the only choice that adds an acceptable verb to the sentence and is our correct answer. Number 9. To make this paragraph most logical, sentence 1 should be placed. So sentence 1 is here. A report by the Space Foundation estimated that NASA contributed $180 billion to the economy in 2005. More than 60% of the contribution. Now, that's all we have to read. The key phrases are NASA contributed $180 billion in sentence 1 and more than 60% of the contribution in sentence 2. If we move sentence 1 anywhere else, 60% of the contribution in sentence 2 does not refer to anything. So we should leave sentence 1 where it is so that we know sentence 2 refers to 60% of the $180 billion contribution. Okay, going on to number 10. With world population topping 7 billion, humanity is in need of some perspective. Therefore, we should continue to support NASA not only for practical reasons, but also because it is a necessary vehicle for increasing our awareness of how we can fulfill our responsibilities to the planet and each other. The writer wants to add, in addition, NASA has facilities in Washington, D.C., Florida, Texas, California, and other states. Now, adding details on the specific locations of NASA's facilities, nor even the abundance of their facilities, does not add to the paragraph's focus, which is to justify why people need to be educated on why we should support NASA for their important work. They can have a gazillion locations. The writer is emphasizing the quality of their work, not the quantity of their locations, as the basis for their important work. So no, it blurs the paragraph's focus, and choice C is our correct answer. And lastly, for this passage, number 11. This is a transition question that requires you to recognize the relationships between the two sentences that we read for number 10. And since the massive 7 billion count world population needing perspective is a direct reason why we should continue to support NASA, we need a transition that provides this reason relationship. B and C are transitions that contradict the two sentences. For example, in choice D, extends the preceding point, but infers that the second sentence contains specific examples of the massive world population needing perspective, which is not nearly as appropriate of a relationship as a transition that establishes massive population needing perspective as a direct reason for us to continue supporting NASA. So choice A is our correct answer.